Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. It's me, Ali. I've tried to film this video multiple times. It hasn't gone very well, to be honest. I was a little bit hyperactive and then there was noise. So now the door is closed and I can properly film a video. So today, I thought we would have a little manifestation chit chat. I would give you a story time about how my manifestation journey is going so far, what works for me, what I feel doesn't work for me, and yeah, these are just my beliefs and my opinions. So if you're from the manifestation community, you don't have to take these views on board. They're just my personal views. Like, it is what it is, okay? This video is just giving people some like advice and encouragement, and I'm gonna link some people below that I follow in with regards to manifestation. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about what's worked for me so far, give a little story time, and hopefully it will encourage other people on their journeys. Also, before I begin, my personal readings that you can either have written or filmed down below. So if you get a reading from me, guys, I can personalize it and I will either film you a tarot reading or I will just give you a written intuitive, which is like 2 pages. It's just like a written spread of everything you need to know without tarot. So it doesn't really, like, you can't just select the option in your purchase. You just ask me, and whatever you want, whatever your question is, whatever, I just customize it. So you can go down below and peruse my shop if you would like. Visit my website and I would greatly appreciate that. So thank you. We'll jump into the chat now. Okay, so when it comes to me and manifestation, we haven't always seen eye to eye. Personally, I say used to be, it was literally like 2 weeks ago, up to 2 weeks ago. I was a very rational person. Even though I'm spiritual, I was still very much in the camp of there's certain limits to the physical world and sometimes things just happen. And while I still think that is the case for some things, I've realized that I have a lot more control of my reality than I think I do. I'm sorry, my earphones are in the way. So, I used to, when I was younger, I would like practice law of assumption and, law of attraction. We are talking about law of attraction. When I was younger, I would practice law of attraction, okay? And now I'm into law of assumption. So, law of attraction basically dictates that like attracts like. So, by thinking positive thoughts like all the time, you will always be in like a positive mindset and therefore you'll attract positive things, right? Or the universe will deem you worthy of those things if you think positively, which is, not the best. Like, if you're a person like me who is disabled, okay, and somebody tells you, just think like really positively and you'll just get things. And so whenever you're sad about your disability, you have to be like positive. That's not, I'm sorry, but it's giving toxic positivity. And maybe I just don't understand it, but that's just personally how I view it, okay? I'm not here to bash anybody. That's just how I view it. And I view it more as like, it also says to write things down, and I see that as like an external thing where you're not relying on yourself, which is what law of assumption is more about, okay? So some people conflate the two and but they are very separate things. Law of attraction is all about the positive energy is like a magnet and the universe will give it to you. Law of assumption is more like you are the creator inside and out, okay? So whatever you assume to be true, okay, whatever you assume is true for you is what comes out into your reality. So in order for me to like, because this is kind of for beginners as well, it's kind of to like inspire people and explain it, okay? This is how I come to understand it. Okay, so as a spiritualist, I personally believe, okay, this room, okay, my bedroom that I'm in right now, that's the 3D reality, okay? So the 3D reality is like, it's a very, it's a physically packed in, very like dense world, okay? My friend Blaine, he brings this up a lot, but the 3D, it's very like dense and very physical. We can like touch and feel everything, okay? So the law of assumption, okay, and also I want to, before I get into this as well, spirit, okay, exists in a higher realm above that. So I do believe spirit is very, very real, okay, and spirit exists beyond the 3D as well. And law of assumption, manifestation in a way is kind of similar, but it's in a different pocket to spirit as well. Like, I don't think it all comes from the same place. When it comes to spirit, there is like a 5D and like a 2D, and where the lower spirits are. That's personally what I believe. The lower spirits go to the 2D, which I'm not going to get into. Like, that's just my personal thing. But anyway, so the spirits, we have 3D where we exist, and the spirits above us. But in here, in this little noggin here, we have the 4D, okay? So the 4D, to put it quite simply, because I think people think of the 4D as an external dimension, and it's kind of not. Like, we are 3D and 4D. The 4D is the imagination, okay? Up here, which is why I keep pointing. I even consider, like, even though it's the third eye, perhaps the pineal gland is also, our 4D, okay? Like, that's all a part of it. Like, it exists. Like, there's a part of us that connects to something higher, which I guess is the spiritual realm, but also it connects to something higher in that, okay, the easiest way to explain this is, when you haven't heard from a friend in a very long time, and you go, oh, I haven't heard from such and such in ages, like, I wonder how they're doing, and you just casually let it go, and then the person calls you or texts you or you bump into them, whatever. That is the law of assumption, because you dwell on something and you go, oh, I wonder how they're doing. But then you sort of, like, you don't have to let it go with manifestation, but you kind of don't think about it. And so you're manifesting without even realizing it, because the universe or the subconscious, whatever, I'm trying to say, you don't have to rely on the universe for manifestation, is what I'm trying to get at, but we have a universe or a world or whatever that is responding to something. Like, yes, you are creating, right? You are saying something and then it's randomly happening, but there is, in my mind, I'm trying to think of it scientifically as well, I feel, because it's quantum physics, you're just like, when you talk about something, okay, I'm getting way off topic. Let me try to simplify it down. So it's basically, law of assumption is basically like, when you dwell on something in your thoughts, the more that you focus on something, it's kind of like confirmation bias. When you're like, oh, I hate that song by such and such, and then you hear it everywhere. That is manifestation. You see evidence of something, which a lot of people would call it confirmation bias, but in my opinion, that's like a different thing. That's when it's like a real negative thing, okay? We won't focus on that, but it's kind of like the more that you dwell on something, it's like the law of gravity, okay? The more that you focus on something, and it doesn't have to be positive or negative, but just a focus on something through affirmation, through repeated, even visualization and placebo effect. See, that's another thing. The placebo effect is a good example of manifestation. If you buy into a narrative, that is what you will start to see evidence of. And it's not saying like, oh, you caused this and that to happen, because we do not do that on this channel. That's one thing I will never do, is I'm not going to victim blame and say, oh, you caused this and you did that. But it's more like, if you get up in the morning and you stub your toe, and then you dwell in the narrative of, oh, this day's gone to shit, hasn't it? Because I stubbed my toe, and you'll start to see evidence of, because your subconscious mind, it's kind of like how they do describe the universe in law of attraction, okay? Except it's the subconscious, okay? Because in law of attraction, they say the universe goes, your wish is my command. Well, so does the subconscious, if you're looking at it from a law of assumption perspective, okay? Like the law of assumption will basically dictate that if I get up and I stub my toe and I go, oh, I feel so shit today, and you keep dwelling in that I feel so shit, your subconscious is going to be like, okay, well, here's some more shit to look at, and oh, here's some more shit on top of that. Whereas if you catch your thoughts and you go, oh, okay, well, you know, this is shit right now, but it's going to be good today, okay? It's about, we're not saying, because here's the thing, I think the problem is, and this is my personal opinion, law of attraction focuses too much on it has to be positive no matter what. Whereas law of assumption is a bit more like, if you want something, you can focus on that narrative until it manifests, but you don't have to feel good about it. Like, I could be feeling like shit, but if I say to myself, oh, everyone's driving a lime green car nowadays, lo and behold, in the next 2 hours, I might see a lime green car and I might see evidence of what I've been thinking about. So it's about understanding the world is not just some necessarily random place where things happen by chance, right? But there is some evidence, and many people, if you look up law of assumption success stories, if you look up evidence of law of assumption, you will see it everywhere. Like, you will literally see people being like, oh, I thought for 2 hours, right, and I really dwelled in this idea of thinking as if I was this person who got emailed for this job, and then I got the email that I got the job, right? It's because what you are predominantly focused on. Okay, the easiest way, right, your subconscious is like a sponge, okay? I got this from It's Her Universe, shout out Tiff. I'm going to put all the people that I follow in the description for law of assumption, but the subconscious is like a sponge, okay? So it's soaking up what you're telling it. You're not aware of it, okay? You're like, so you're thinking negative thoughts a lot. And listen, there are negative things in the world. Nobody's going to bash you for that, okay? We're not victim blaming. But if you're constantly in a cycle of you really, truly, and fully believe in that narrative, then your subconscious is going to give you more reasons to stay in that narrative. But the thing is, because you're not aware of it, because you're thinking, oh, my conscious mind, I have to change my conscious thoughts. But I'm here to tell you, okay, I'm going to give you an example of what happened to me. So about 2 weeks ago, or was it a week and a half ago? I don't even know at this point. Like, I lose track of time all the time. But I decided I was going to try something called subliminals. And I had tried subliminals before. But subliminals bypass your conscious and subconscious mind, right? Like, they bypass your conscious mind, the wall that you have up in your head with all the thoughts and narratives you have. And you have to play it at a low volume, so you can't really hear it. At least that's what I've been told. And when you sleep, if you put it on low and it's like white noise and you go to sleep, like, your subconscious absorbs everything, so you don't even know that you've absorbed it. Like how you constantly watch a Burger King commercial or something, and then you go, oh, why am I craving a burger? It's because advertising is designed to have a subliminal effect on the subconscious mind, where when you see something, you want it, but you don't realize. You think, oh, I know it's an advertisement. Your conscious mind knows that, but your subconscious goes, oh, maybe I do need that Jimmy Choo perfume, or that, I don't know, blimmin' new bag, pink bag, something, whatever, right? It's implanted in the back of your mind. Advertisers know this, and they do it all the time. So when it comes to subliminal audios, the idea is you listen overnight. A lot of people say this, overnight, low volume, just looped on YouTube, whatever, go to sleep. And then the more that you listen, the more you start to see evidence, because You may not be consciously aware that anything has changed, but your subconscious mind is aware. Okay, your subconscious mind knows and feels everything before your conscious mind does. That's why you get upset about something, but you don't think that you're upset, but you get upset. It's because this is what I think anyway, all your emotions, a lot of trauma is stored in the subconscious mind. So you think you're not upset about something, but you actually are, because your subconscious holds on to it. So the idea is that when you listen to a subliminal audio overnight, it seeps in because you can't hear it, but your subconscious mind can. And they've proven this. They've proven that the brain can knit wires together to reform itself, and that's what subliminal audios help with. And I'm going to link down the channel that I use below. I got it subliminals, is absolutely fantastic dabby dozy, if I do say so myself. So I decided I want to focus on the fact that I manifest instantly, that's a reality for me, and I'm going to pummel it 8 hours and tell my subconscious mind while I sleep that I manifest instantly. Wow, what a game changer, right? Like, I woke up the first night that I did it and I felt something in my energy had shifted. And aside from that, I decided to adopt the identity that I am a witch, and I can, because listen, manifestation, energy, all of that, it's all about intention as well. So if I assume and set the intention the subliminal will work, or my written spells or verbal spells will work, then they will work. And I already had a verbal spell work for like communication and people, all that kind of stuff. So I knew it could work, right? So what I do every morning is, this is my routine, and I encourage you guys, I highly suggest, I have an app, it's called the Leafer app. It is for reality shifters, but you can basically use it for anything, and that's what I do. I have all my spells written in there. So basically, when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll say a spell, sometimes I won't, like this morning, and then last morning I didn't, okay, but I might say a luck or evil eye spell or something for the day, and then I write. The first thing I do, I've looped that subliminal, and it's still sort of playing as I write in my journal, okay, like I'm writing on my phone, and in my Lifer app, in my little journal on my Lifer app, and I'm saying thank you for spirit, subconscious, universe. I just address all three, because I am a spiritual person. Like, I do believe it sort of coalesces, and it's all the same thing. It's just different. It's just law of assumption is more of an internal thing, whereas universe is more external. But hopefully I'm making sense in this video. But I basically write down and I say, I'm so blessed and thankful, and I didn't really, this is the thing with subliminals, I didn't really need to really do anything. Like, you can manually say affirmations, but I knew for me, personally, I find that a lot harder. And it's only when it became my natural thoughts through the subliminal, because this is the thing, law of assumption should always be your natural thoughts. Like, whatever you would think naturally, if you were that person or you had that thing, that is what you should be affirming, okay? Shout out to my girl Taylor Tukes. If you don't know her, she is amazing. I'm going to link her channel below, but she is the one that taught me that, you know, affirmations is just thinking. It's what you tell yourself, right? And she has a great challenge going on right now where she talks about, you know, assuming that it's already done. So whenever you want your manifestation, you say, oh, I already have that. Oh, it's already here. And you disrupt your brain, the logic in your conscious mind that is saying, well, where is it? You disrupt that at every turn, okay? So Taylor's an absolute master, and I highly encourage, like, checking her out. I'm gonna link all the people that I personally watch and resonate with. She's amazing. Love you, girl. I hope you're well. But it's all about, I've lost my track of thought. But it is all about just whatever you believe if you believe the subliminal will work, but then you don't question where it is when you wake up and you keep pummeling it in, your brain will start to have that natural thought process. So if you're too anxious like me and you overthink like me, subliminals I highly recommend. Like I highly recommend subliminals, okay? Like highly, 100% guarantee. Like if you have too much trouble with manually affirming and manually telling yourself, let your subconscious do the work, and then you will start to believe that you are the master of your reality. And listen, I'm gonna do it how I would say it, okay? So I'm not here to shame, as I said, to shame or blame anyone, okay? We all at some point or another go through shitty circumstances, but law of assumption is saying, okay, well, we go through shitty circumstances, but I don't have to identify with that. I don't have to sit there and wallow in it, okay, and feel sorry for myself. I can move on and I can create a beautiful life for myself. That's all this is about changing the way that your brain perceives certain things. And I highly encourage, like obviously this isn't a quick fix all, but it can really be a game changer, okay? I would still encourage therapy, medication if you need it, but I will tell you guys, there is something to the fact that when I have said, repeated multiple times, I always see purple cars. I see them everywhere. Like, isn't it great? Even though I haven't seen them, I see a purple car pretty much literally all the time. And there is something that is responding. I truly believe, okay, not only do I believe that it's my mind sort of, pushing it out, what I want, but I do think there is a sentience and a design to it where manifestation is possible in the human mind. Like there is something going on. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, also, I'm going to share another story, and you can think it's crazy all you want. I actually don't care. But I have this thumb, okay? I don't know if you can see, but I have this thumb here, right? And the paint looks clear, right? It hasn't chipped. Except on Sunday, and I shared this with a friend and stuff, and my mum. My mum can vouch for this. My mum is the most logical, skeptical person. On Sunday night, I looked at my thumb and I went, oh shit, it's chipping. Like I could see a fleck of a chip on there where you could see the skin of the fingernail, like the color of the nail, like it chipped away and you could see a bit of the nail sticking through. Like if you know, you know. Okay, like where it's got a little scuff and you can see imagine a chip on your nail, right? So I'm like, oh my God, like that's crazy. Like I wish I didn't have that, and I just, and at this time I've been pummeling my subconscious mind, okay? And this is the thing, I'm kicking myself. I should have taken a photo and I didn't because I didn't know this was going to happen. But I have been listening throughout the day as well and programming my mind, just going about doing things, but I was listening to the subliminals and I was in a good mindset the whole weekend. So I look at this chip and I go, oh, well, it's one of those things. I don't want to manifest anything. I just look at it and I go, oh, well, it's a chip, like whatever. I go to bed and at night, it's been really weird lately. I don't know if I should say, but I've been seeing things out of the corner of my eyes as well. Like I'm sure spirits are around me because it's Halloween and the veil is thinning, but whatever. I go to bed and I'm just listening to a completely different subliminal, like it's not to do with my self-concept around manifesting, okay? All right. And I go to bed and I wake up and I'm looking at my nail and I go, that's weird. It doesn't look like the chips on it. And I put my flashlight on because it's kind of early in the morning. I look under it and I look like this. I'm like, hey, that's weird. And it turns out that the chip that I had on my thumb has magically disappeared. It's gone. It is worn off. I have not done anything to wear it off. It's just gone, you know? So it was the weirdest thing, because I thought in my head once, I was like, oh, I really don't want that chip to be there. And then it wasn't there. And I do not know how to explain it. I showed it to my mum. I showed her the exact space where the chip was, and she goes, that's weird. Like, that is so weird. And I don't know if a spirit heard me. I don't know if I probably did manifest it. I don't know if there's something going on, but all I know is I've gone from being an anxious person who was down on herself. So I'm starting to believe in myself. I'm not letting anxious, negative thoughts override me. And okay, it's not going to be easy for some people. I'm not going to just claim, oh, it'll be really easy for you. It is all what you assume. So you have to try to go into it with an open mind and find ways that work for you. I'm just giving an example of something you could do, especially if you have an overwired mind like mine. It really does help to like focus on, you know, or try to look for the good in every day. Even if the day is going shit, be like, no, it's going to be good because I said it's going to be good. And just leave it at that. Like, I'll go back to my friend Taylor, right? Taylor's so good. She's got to the point where she can just say, once I decide it's done, and it just happens. But you have to foster within yourself to get to that point. You have to tell yourself that that's a reality for you. Like, at some point, and obviously, again, I'm not victim blaming, but at some point you do have to do the work. And the problem was, I was sitting there and I was blaming everything and everybody else, and I was saying the world is shit, so I feel shit because the world is this and I can't do this. And then at a certain point, you know, you go, excuse me, why are you in my head and why are you talking like this? Get out, right? You tell it to get packing, right? I got so fed up, and I had seen so many results from people in the manifestation community. I was like, I'm going to do this. I don't care if people think I'm a quack. I'm getting my shit, right? Like, I was fully invested, like, and I've buckled down because I've had a lot of stops and starts where I would affirm and then I'd be like, where is it? I don't see it. This is the mistake that people make. Again, I'm going to wrap this up. It's probably a mess and all over the place. But this is the mistake people make. Everything is internal. So when you tell yourself something, but you look for it, that's not manifestation, right? Manifestation is saying something to yourself over and over and soaking in that new truth. And then you start to see evidence, but you don't look to see the evidence, right? It's like people said, if you had a new TV, you wouldn't say, where's the new TV? Because the new TV is already there. And I know that's so tricky to wrap your head around, and it messed me up before I, really started. But once you understand that things, when you start to have manifestations come in easy, you realize how many restrictions you actually put on yourself. Whereas when you've decided something and you go, I'm going to see it, and you become kind of cocky with it. Yeah, I'm going to see it. Even if it's a joke, you will literally see it. I guarantee. Do the subliminals, do the work, journal your hard feelings if you need to, and journal the good feelings. That's what I do every day. I thank the universe. I thank myself, obviously, because I'm the main vessel. Like, to me and the universe are like this, okay? I am the universe. Like, we are all a part of the universe, right? So I thank myself. I thank the universe. Just keep going with it, okay? And I'm going to link my friend Taylor and other manifestation people I follow, so they can probably explain it better than me, because I still am learning as I go. But if me, a disabled and over-anxious person, or who used to be disabled and over-anxious, can do it, you can too. Because I realize the only limit that applies to me is the limit I put on myself, not what other people put on me. And I spent so long, I almost want to cry, but I spent so long putting myself down in a corner and saying, I can't do this because XYZ said so. But it's I say so now. It's I say that this is a thing for me. Not other people. They can get stuffed. It's my life, and I make the conscious choices. And to be honest, that's what adulting is about too, I fear. Like, you have to actually make those choices for yourself. Nobody else is going to make them for you. And to be honest, we have been told about manifestation from when we were very young. Ask and you shall receive in the Bible. Like, nobody else is going to do it for you. All those things are like telling us about manifestation. It's just whether you believe it to be true for you. So, a TLDR for those who just want to skip ahead. Manifestation is real. It's whatever you predominantly think about, focus on. And you find methods that work for you, and you keep sticking to those methods until things work and you start to see evidence. But you don't go looking for the evidence, okay? That's what we don't do. And we give ourselves grace for the hard days, okay? It's not about saying you should be more positive and you should do this. It's a you journey. So don't listen to what other people say. You do it for you. I did it because I want to change my life. And I'm making this video to encourage other people to change theirs, right? We all have different ways of what we think about manifestation. But the main crux of it is it's whatever you put out for you is what is going to benefit you and help you the most. So I hope this helped, guys. This was a really long blimmin' video, wasn't it? And hopefully it makes sense. And I'm probably sounding like an absolute quack. But you know what? I'm the best kind of quack. Okay, I was named for Alice in Wonderland. And the whole point about Alice in Wonderland is that everyone is mad and they embrace their madness. So I don't care that much. I'm going to be a witchy lady for all I care. So I hope this helped, and please check out my reading information below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'm sorry that I'm talking really fast. Okay, bye.